Yeah.
Good evening, all of you. Welcome back. It's me, Adnan Gori, the founder and director of iWorkstation, and I welcome you all to our new event, which is Industry BIM Connect session. So today's topic is opportunities in the Indian BIM industry, and along with me is Vishal and S.M.NADEEM. So I'll give a brief introduction about Vishal and Nadeem. Vishal is a digital transformation agent. He is a PMP-certified project management professional with 7+ years of experience in the field of BIM, and he is currently working in Tata projects. He has studied from IIT Madras, and he also has a master's degree in construction technology and management. Yeah. Nadeem, on the other hand, is almost having a 15 years of experience in the field of BIM, in the field of AEC. He was previously employed in Naboodah, where he worked for quite a long time in different variety of BIM projects. Then later he worked with Arth Design Build, and now currently he has his own initiative called as MarkBIM in Hyderabad. So I welcome both of you, Vishal and Nadeem.
Yeah, hi Adnan. Thanks for giving us this opportunity.
Thank you. So directly coming on to the topic, we'll be having a discussion on today 3 basic topics which we decided for today's session. That is Indian BIM market during and after the COVID-19. So Vishal, what do you think about how the Indian BIM market has progressed during the COVID-19 and even after the COVID-19? How is the market scenario now in the India?
Yeah, so I think everyone is well aware, like we have seen a few bad days during the COVID, and everyone was impacted, each industry at each individual level or even the business level or as each level it had impacted. So was ours, like in the construction. But if you will look at a closure, if you look at a closure to the BIM industry, obviously it has impacted for a short term, but it was now proven as a long-term gain for that short-term pain. Because that was the time like people have realized the digital tools potential, and there was a sudden spike in the demand of the BIM tools and the digital tools, and now it has been proven like what you say is a blessing in disguise. So after that, like we are seeing like everyone, each industry, especially the private players, like all private big players, is like mandating the BIM in their large scale projects. And I'm not seeing that they are far like when it will start for the small scale projects as well.
Right. And I see, Vishal, you are a digital transformation professional in this field. What do you think the transformation have taken place in this AEC field, what we called as architecture, engineering and construction field, right? So what exactly the transformation took place in these 2-3 years, which have never been able to transform in the past decade? What do you think?
Yeah, so I see like we are before that, like we were having the steady growth on the AC industry, and if you talk about the implementation of BIM, it was more limited towards the 3D BIM implementation. But now people are realizing it's that BIM is not only for the designing or the 3D phase, but it's for a complete project lifecycle management. So now people have realized its potential, and now even not only the 3D, but 4D, 5D, and 6D BIMs, what we call the schedule linking or the cost planning and control. Everything is picking up, and people are the exponential growth we are seeing now. If you talk about before COVID and what we are now.
Yeah, cool. I think Nadeem is also with us in the session. Hello, Nadeem.
Hey, hi, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Nadeem, can you switch on your video as well?
Yeah, just give me 2 minutes. I'm just facing a small issue.
Okay.
Just give me 2 minutes. You guys can continue. Just 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's okay. So we were discussing about the transformation which is happening in the industry as of now. And do you think the companies which were already present in like the BIM companies, are these companies were actually suffering during the pandemic, or they are growing in a different way?
No, like it's like when we had the COVID, obviously there was some impact on that. And if you look closer to it, I will divide into the 2 phases, like few projects which was in the construction phase. Like so obviously the construction has stopped completely at the site. So those projects has impacted that during that time. But if you will see the pre-construction phase projects, whether we have the designing or it is engineering or procurement or tendering phase. So since we have if we have implemented the BIM, it was all the digitals, what we call the common data environment, and most of the things were already in the cloud. So if you will see at that time also, enabling work from home for the BIM companies employees or any companies who was digitally enabled were very easy for them. So they have easily shifted on that in a very quick time, and very quick turnaround time. They have shifted on that and they started working from home. And I have not seen the much impact on the project which was in a pre-construction phase. But obviously, if the project was in construction phase, there was an impact on that.
Exactly, because many people have to work physically on site, and there was an impact in that stage. Right. And Nadeem, I think you are there. I think you just, yeah, hello. Nadeem? Yeah, you can hear, you can unmute yourself.
I think he's unmute, yeah.
Yeah. Hi guys, sorry, it was a small delay. Okay. I missed exactly the previous conversation. So can you just, Anand, can you just run through that one? Sorry.
We were actually discussing about the Indian BIM market during the COVID, and after the COVID, what have been an impact in people's, how they have changed the way of their work, what technologies have taken a place in this duration. So I would like to ask you, Nadeem, since you are a BIM manager, you have a vast experience of managing people. What do you think the most difficult part during COVID pandemic? Is it really difficult to manage employees and get the deliverables, or it was like how was it? How was your
experience? It is good as well as bad on the both circumstances. The good that we know now ki we can do projects from far away, not sitting together. Okay, that we have learned it. We can sit in multiple locations and do the same projects using BIM 360. And the bad thing from the COVID was all the projects were kept on hold. Okay, and it was almost all for 2 years. The major projects, they were not running out, and we were having a limited, like kind of workflow wise or project submissions and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, COVID was, it made us realize that we can do work from anywhere, anytime, and proceed without stopping that. And yeah, after the COVID, we can say that the market has been boomed like anything. Okay, the projects which were stopped for nearly 2 years, okay, like the future projects, what they mean consultants and the designers have done is, in these 2 years, they haven't wasted the time. What they have done, they have completed the design concept for the future projects. Okay, so once the COVID is, like you can say, gone, okay, they have taken a gap of nearly 6 months to 9 months, and they have put everything into the market with the new projects. Yeah, for that now we can say that we have a number of projects, okay, on BIM, and we have a lot of vacancies, and we are telling frankly we are short of resources.
Oh, really?
Resources. Yeah.
I see a lot of big companies in around the globe, like Microsoft, Google, name a few like these. They are actually firing their employees, and you say there are lack of people in the market now.
I'll say that. The thing is, they are on IT-based companies, right? We are construction-based companies. So construction never dies, right? Construction never dies. So 2 years it was on ventilator, you can say that. So it recovered really good, and now with the skilled resources, we are damn short. Yeah, actually in India, because in COVID you can say that the major companies has lost, small companies have been closed. That is true. Okay, because they did not have the projects, they did not have, they can't maintain the resources. But the major companies, what they have done, they have taken it as an advantage.
Right.
Whoever resources they are getting, okay, they hired them, and they have kept it like on hold for nearly 1 year. Now, when they got it, all the major good resources are in the big companies.
Right. And you just mentioned
Yeah.
about workflows as well, which have been changed in these few years. What do you think about the new workflows or the new technologies which are coming in the market in the BIM as of now?
Currently, BIM 360 has helped us a lot on, in the pandemic,
Uh-huh,
and it made a benchmark for us to secure our projects. It
uh-huh,
means the drawings, whatever we are producing, and whatever they are, there was a concept of in India basically. I would say that okay, when the outsourcing companies to come to India, they were scared of their files to be misused or misused
data
or
leak.
leaked somewhere.
Yeah, data
Yeah.
leak.
So
Yeah,
Data
data
security
has
concern.
been, yeah, data has been secured. Like everyone was scared to use 360. Now everyone wants 360 to be implemented on all of their projects.
that's
So
good.
that was a major change, I would say, in the
Uh,
BIM industry to secure the data.
right,
Securing data, and now you can say give anyone a job, let him
uh,
work from home, and he
right.
can't do anything with the files, right?
Yeah,
Even if he leaves or do something, he can't do anything because it is on BIM 360.
yeah. You can define the way the person deals with the files, either just a viewer access or a editorial access,
Yeah,
or even a manager access. You
absolutely,
can define the level of access.
absolutely,
Right,
absolutely. Before the pandemic, it was like we have to upload it on Econex, and then the files are going here, there, architectural, structural. We have to bring them. Sometimes they'll submit again. But now, no problem. 360, give them the access, do
right.
it. That is the major, what I can say is what pandemic has helped us to do.
Uh-huh. Vishal, you also think the same in your company in Tata projects, like you are being upgraded with BIM
Yeah,
360?
like correct. Yeah. So I completely agreed with Nadeem, but it's just not limited to the BIM 360, but yeah, any common data environment like we have used.
Yeah.
Yeah, so which has like make a workflow for us also. Like you don't need to make like don't need to collect the files and send to from one team to other team, because like once you will deal with a big project, there will be a multiple stakeholders. There will be consultants, there will be designers, there will be architects, there will be clients. So all should have one data. All should have one model. There was a big drawback was like there was continuously repetitions will happen, the revisions will happen. So there no one was sure if you will work in a standalone way. Okay, whether it is the latest model you have, or whether you have the latest drawings, or you are working with the old drawings. Now
Right.
it is a one source of truth, a single source of truth everyone is having. And if anyone is implementing the common data environment, like even you can define the workflow also. Suppose once your designers or consultants approve the design, then only it will go to the next stage. Until unless you can't share those files to the reflect one. And if you don't want to, if you just want to give them the viewer access, because it's your proprietary, you don't want to share, you can't share with that. The data security is very important for this kind of project. So that
Right.
also you can manage. So it helped a lot, yeah. So it was there, but before the COVID-19 as well. But we have seen it's a high demand. It's the people coming and asking now. Everyone is asking, yeah, I want to work with a community environment in a collaborative format.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with Nadeem and Vishal as well. The BIM 360 has been the main thing in the BIM industry as of now. But there are other companies as well. Like, what do you comment on the other companies? Like, you have Autodesk, Bentley, you have Graphisoft, you have multiple software companies, right? So in different countries, I see most of the people use a different variety of softwares. But coming to the interoperability part in the BIM, let's say we have a project in Europe, and the client demands a certain different workflow. So how do you manage, or what do you suggest for the newcomers in the BIM industry, like fresh people or the graduates or the new beginners are coming into the industry? So they are somewhat a little bit confused whether which software they should choose, whether they should go with Trimble Tekla, whether they should go with Graphisoft ArchiCAD, or whether they should learn Bentleys or Autodesk. There are so many software tools. What you like to comment, Nadeem, about it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is an interesting one because one pandemic and other things, we were having, as in India, we were having a major outsource resources with us. And they were doing projects on an, what do you say, different platforms and different softwares. Okay. The major issue in India, as you know, Revit we use commonly. Okay. So what they were doing was they were converting just their model into a 3D print. You can say as a 3D model. It might be in any like CAD format or CAD 3D or even in Rhino Tekla. We can just export as a 3D element into that one. In these, in Autodesk and Revit, the advantage what we are having is we can convert into IFC, bring it back into our workflow. So it has been, you know, any software, because these all are together and they know that individually they can't run. They have to give, you know, they have to support each other indirectly.
So IFC plays a very important role.
Absolutely, absolutely. In that, like a few of our clients of US and UK, they were using a digital platform, like a digital graphics was there. Okay, it is, you can say, pretty much simpler to Tekla and Revit. Okay, and in the initial stage, we were like, oh, what to do? We can't go to those softwares, and they can't come to our softwares. Okay, so as you know, we were in the Autodesk and communication we do regularly for all these new stuff. So we tried something with IFC. We have asked them multiple formats of files which are in 3D element type. Okay, we found a way that we can convert that into IFC. Once it is in IFC, we bring it back into the working software. It might be Revit or any other software. So I would say working on different platforms does not matter. The output matters, and the data which was built in some other software, how much percentage it is affecting when we are working. Yeah, we are working onto that one. We are bringing it into the BIM or, you know, Revit software or any other software. So I think IFC plays a major role, and these all other softwares directly, indirectly, it might be from Revit also or other CAD Fab, Revit Fab. We convert it into 3D element. Okay, we send it to them in a format of IFC. They convert into their format of softwares.
Right. What do you think, Vishal? Vishal, I would like to ask. Sorry to interrupt, Nadeem.
No. Go ahead.
Vishal, Nadeem clearly described about how IFC plays an important role in transferring the data from one software tool to another software tool. But what do you think? How is the, how much data is it actually transferring, and how much data we can preserve? Is it really happening? Like, let's say an example, if you are transferring data from ArchiCAD software using an IFC file or using different plugins and transferring the data to Revit, how much data we can preserve, how much information we can preserve while doing this kind of workflow? What do you think?
Yeah, so and then like as Nadeem has rightly said, like IFC has helped and you're talking that. So but we have to see like and we started with the discussion like which software is good, like we have so many software and people are confused which we have to use. So I would like to start from there. Like in my view, there is no software good or bad. Yeah, Revit is the most popular software we are using today. It may be like based on the demand or based on the uses, or even the economical part will also matter when you're doing the project. So, but if you see Autodesk also, like we have so many softwares for the 3D modeling only, Revit, Civil 3D, InfraWork. So instead of a good or bad software, everyone should see like what is the use of the project, like what is the main objective. That's why in the beginning of the project itself, we designed the BIM execution plan and exchange information required. There we defined all the how we are going to define deliver our information or the models in one format to another, or one software to another software. But if you will see in each conversion there, I have seen like some data is losing. Sometimes it is not very relevant. Sometimes it may be relevant. So it has to be seen the objective. So for example, suppose you are doing a building project, you may choose the Revit. But if you are doing an infrastructure project like roads and all, you may choose Civil 3D. Or if you are dealing with very heavy structures, people may choose Tekla, Trimble Tekla. So
Right.
it will always depend on the project objectives, and all the softwares are good and bad. So we have to see what is the objective.
What is
Coming to
the
your second
requirement?
question, yeah,
What
coming
is
to your
exactly
second
the
question, the data
requirement, the type of
interoperability.
project which we are working on, and
Correct.
accordingly choose the right software for it. If
Yeah,
it's more complex, structure-oriented project, like which requires a lot of steel, then maybe Tekla would be the preferred choice
yeah,
for advanced
correct.
steel, right?
Yeah, yes, exactly. So, and no one can tell you, like if you are a BIM consultant or you are the client, you knows what you need.
Right.
Then you can go and tell to your BIM consultant, I need this, you suggest me the software. If you'll go blankly ask, it's like you are asking to pick a drop, a specific drop in a sea. So we can't tell that.
Exactly.
And if you are asking the data interoperability, that is very important. And with that view, like people have realized that suppose you have put a lot of effort and you want to use your 3D model for operations or planning phase, and you can't transfer your model from this software to that software, then there is no use of it, right? Your all effort has wasted now. So with that concept, Building International is an organization which have introduced the IFC and BCF files. IFC like a common 3D format, which every software can talk about. And similarly for BCF, like if you have any coordination issues, so we have BIM information format as well. So with that, like those problem has been now we have minimized it. If you will see 10 years ago, there was a huge challenge for data transfer. Now I think all the software is accepting the open BIM, and this concept like using the IFC file we call the open BIM now, and all the software which is leading today, whether you talk about the Autodesk or Bentley or the Trimble or any other software vendors, so they are aligning their workflows towards the open BIM
Like
platform. And
I
yeah,
would say in the market as of now, all the softwares which are coming or anything which is coming up in the BIM market, they have to be IFC compliant. They have to have IFC
correct.
enabled in it so that they can produce IFC
Yeah,
file and other softwares can take the same amount of data. So really good point of view from you, Vishal. I would like to ask another question, which I also face from a lot of people, and it's regarding what companies are looking for a BIM candidate, what exactly they are looking from a person to know. Like we mentioned about BIM 360, we mentioned about data interoperability, but absolutely like from a very beginner point of view, a fresh graduate or a newbie coming in the market, he may not be able to understand all the concepts from the day one, right? So what exactly the companies are looking from a candidate?
yeah. So if you ask like, so it again, it will depend, but I'm answering this question with the perspective of the freshers, because
Okay.
they don't have the software experience. Software experience is, yes, that is a part. But I personally, I have a view like software is not a very big deal. So if you know the concept, if you have a good construction process understanding, if you have good project management knowledge, then software is what, like it's application you can learn in a year or two, and then you can implement. But the process and this project management concept is the more important here. And suppose like and which what companies is looking for is like it depends like who is your client. So suppose if anyone is design, they are mainly focused on the designing, so they will look your designing skills and the 3D modeling skills. And if project is like a contractor and if they are consultants, then they will look more for the planning and the project management, and you may call it 4D 5D in our terms. So and if people is more oriented towards the operations and maintenance, then they look for the facility management. So it's BIM. That's so we can use for all the project life cycle, and it will depend on the client. But what I say the people is required is they should have the good construction process understanding. They should have the good project management skills, and then a desire to learn the softwares and implement it.
Absolutely correct. Like I would also prefer like the company should focus more on the core skills from a candidate. Software skills is something a candidate can learn, but if a candidate have a software skills well in advance, then it's a good advantage for the person
Yeah,
to get a job.
exactly.
So I see Nadeem is really looking for people to hire in his own company and to work. So I think you
So,
are one of the best person you can give an opinion. What exactly you are looking from a candidate? who you need to
So,
hire?
yeah, I'll just a little bit change into that one. What I think is, if a person completes his engineering, it might be mechanical, he might be BR or BTech and all these kind of stuff. Okay. The education system, what we have, does not teach the working concept of the world. You can say that. It is pretty much frank. I absolutely feel it. Because even when I was in Dubai, Qatar, and all these countries, when the fresh B comes, what I was looking, okay, if he knows the software basics, it means he knows how to take. If I say him to draw a duct, he should know that which duct, supply duct, written duct, and any kind of duct. If a wall or if a window, he should know that one. If that is the process, then I can mold him according to my company standards. My company, if it might be working for Gulf standards, or it might be Australian standards, it might be New Zealand standards, and all these standards, because no one will teach them any standards, right?
Right.
So when when they have the basics ready with them, okay, like the software, if they have a basic software, we can teach them within 6 months. Our company standards, our because when we are hiring a resource, we look at for 1 year. The productive resource, we look at for 1 year. Initial stage, 3 months goes completely into the training. Okay, that training contains the our BIM implementation plan and the process of the project, each and every stuff. Okay, to understand any company, you go that it takes nearly 1 or 2 months. Any experience, 1 or 2 guy experience, he'll take 1 or 2 months. Okay, that things if he knows the software, okay, on daily basis, we can teach him a little bit, and make him perfect within 6 months. And whatever he has learned in 6 months, yeah, he'll give us a good and bad, all the experience. As a manager, we have to face it. Sometimes all the things just vanish, then we have to bring them back. Okay, after 1 year, yeah, he is perfect. For the fresh bees, I'd say software plays a major important role. It might be he might be using any software, but if he knows the proper basics, if we say we want him to create filters, okay, and implement in the drawing, he should know to create filters. Okay, it does not matter that he creates to which one. Okay, he might create it for walls, he might create it for windows, but he should know in his mind, he should know that yeah, there is a filter. Okay, I have to go there. I have to do these things so that it exactly filter creates. Because I'd say about Revit and Navis. Okay, it is an huge things we can do it in.
Right.
Okay, if you know properly, we can guide anyone and we can train them within 3 months of any company's standards. Architectural, structural, MEP, perfect. So for me, I'll be searching for a person who have a good basics of any software. Yeah, that's it. Okay.
Hopefully, people who are watching may like to apply for job in your company. That's
Sure,
Now this
sure.
is catch Nadeem actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll
Yeah.
be thanks a lot, Nadeem and Vishal, for coming for today's session. And hopefully, we'll have a more interactive session in the coming few days, and people can join, and we can take up more questions and help the people to understand the Indian BIM market, and help the market and as well as the companies to get the right resources, get the right education, right knowledge about what is happening around the BIM industry. That is what the major intention of organizing today's session is all about, right? So thank you for taking out your time, Nadeem and Vishal. It's really been a great pleasure to have a word with you all. Thank you for sharing your experiences.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Thanks, Adnan,
Thank you.
Nadeem, and everyone.
Thank you, Vishal.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you.
Bye.
See ya.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, bye. Thank you.